Welcome back. Second episode of the Hot Takes.
What's up?
We thought we might do it slightly differently. Normally, Hot Takes is our opinions on just random shit in the industry. But we thought, because you are still new to this and feel like I'm starting from scratch, what if we put out there some advice for the people who are starting out in the industry in 2025 doing photography or videography? And there might be something, if you are you've been doing this for a while, you might learn something else too. So stick around. It's going to be a nice, short, sharp episode for y'all. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, like we're like if we could start again, what we would do first.
Correct.
Yeah. Better rip. Do you want to lead us in with whatever you think?
We'll go one for one.
Okay, we'll go one for one. Sounds a little bit better.
So my first one would be networking. 100% would be networking. Since probably like last year, when I made it more of a something at the forefront of mind to meet more people. When I was doing the Wed Talk podcast, which I don't do too much anymore because we've got this one, but whether it was at weddings, networking through the podcast, just reaching out to people if they did something that looked pretty cool and I wanted to learn more about it, I just reach out to them. Just speaking with as many new people as you can, because if you don't have a network, let's say your network is your net worth. If you don't know anyone, you don't have anyone to fall back on if work gets quiet, you don't have anyone to go to when things get hard, you don't have anyone to go to for advice. So I would reach out to people that you like, whose work you like. Or you can reach out to other vendors. You could reach out to venues to see if you could go there, take photos or some clips of the venue if you just want to practice. But I would 100% be networking as one of my main things.
I need to take that advice on. I like it though. I don't network enough. I try to, but like every time I have networked, it has been so good, and
it works well, doesn't it?
So many things have helped me, and when I've been in a little bit of trouble, I've been able to call these people. But I still don't do it. I don't know.
Well, this is the first step. The podcast is the first step.
It's the first step. First step is admitting you have a problem.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Even if it's one person a week, just reach out to someone new each week.
Hectic, one person a week.
Well, if you do one person a week, that's 50 people in a year.
All right, I'll reach out to one person a week.
Yeah?
I'm going to slide into their DMs. I'm going to do it.
Done. Let's see what happens. All right, you're up. What's next?
Mine is join a CRM.
Beautiful. Have you got one in mind?
It's a nice little segue, but I'll explain why I did do this, and I'm so happy I did do this because when I first started my business, I had no clue how to do anything. I didn't know how to invoice. I didn't know how to do contracts. I didn't know how to have workflows, how to do all this stuff. And when we both did the same thing, the business map, they always leaned on to have great foundations, because when a lot of work comes eventually, if you don't have great foundations, you can't keep going up. You can't build your skyscraper. Mm-hmm. So getting that CRM to start with first made you look professional because you had all their stuff in one point, this CRM. But it also took the guesswork out of how to invoice, how to quote, how to send off contracts seamlessly.
Keeping track of dates.
Yeah, keeping track of dates. It is incredible. And if you're thinking of joining a CRM, we actually have a great sponsor of the podcast, Studio Ninja, who is offering...
Yes, we do. 50% off.
50% off for a 12-month subscription if you use the code...
MFCO50. That is MFCO50 to get 50% off your Studio Ninja 12-month thing.
But honestly, even if we weren't sponsored by Studio Ninja, I would still say get a CRM.
Yep.
I know there's other platforms out there which I won't mention.
I will. We went to Dubsado and it was a lot harder to navigate than Studio Ninja, so we went back.
Yeah.
I tried to leave and I couldn't.
So you can put your contact form from Studio Ninja onto your website. So then anytime someone sends you contacts you, it goes straight into Studio Ninja. You can link your Xero up to it. You can link your what else can you link up the Studio Ninja that I was just looking at?
For credit card
Big
payments
Time,
and stuff like that.
Stripe.
Big Time.
Yeah. Oh, that's another one as well. Just sign up to Stripe, guys. If you are forcing people to transfer money into your account every time, it's just cop it. Just sign up to Stripe. Cop the percent that they take. It's just ease of use. Anyway, that's my rant.
My next one would be, it's actually off of the list that I had, but it just came to mind when I said to networking, is when you're starting out, whoever you meet, if you can bring it up in conversation, let them know that it's something that you've started. So if you started in weddings, even if you're not speaking directly to a to a venue or someone that's in the industry, if you go to your local coffee shop and you speak to the barista behind the thing, you say like, like I've just started like a wedding photography business. I'm just getting into photography. I'm just getting into videography. The more people you tell, the more people you know, and that know that's what you do. And you never know where a job might come from. You never know where a referral might come from. So yeah, I would just be telling anyone and everything, sing it from the rooftop. This is what I do. Put it in your Instagram bio, put it in your Facebook bio, put it in your streaming thing. I don't fucking know, but just put it everywhere. If people don't know that's what you do, people don't know that's what you do.
I love that, because I never used to tell people, but now I tell every single man and a dog, and you tell everyone about all the wins that you're having as well.
Yeah.
Just tell everyone about how good you're going and how it's so fun and exciting and how much you love it, because people want to be around people who enjoy what they're doing.
100%. What's your next one?
My next one is when you're first starting out, find people who are at the top of the game and compare yourself to those people. And we're talking about the world. Compare yourself to those people. Don't compare yourself to Joe Blow next door, who's started a photography business. He's been doing it for 10 years and he earns like a certain amount. Don't compare yourself to those guys. Compare yourself to the tippy top. And you'll be surprised how quickly you go past everyone who's next door and everyone who's local to you.
Is there anything particular when you're comparing them to the people at the top that you want people to take from that, so that they just don't go, their work's so much better than mine, and they get sad?
That's such a good point. When I mean like compare, be like, and this is what I did, and it might be a little bit toxic, but like honestly go onto, if you're doing a website, go onto their website and look at your website and go, is mine at the same level as theirs? And if it's not, make it that level.
Yeah.
Because they're the top. Yeah. If I look at their photos and go, if I'm a photographer and go, are my photos at the same level of these people who are at the very top? And if they're not, what do I have to do to get there? And it might be like, obviously it might be a skill gap or a knowledge gap. Learn and get better and better and better. It's like, because if you're just comparing yourself to the best person in your area, well, you're never going to break out of that area and you're always going to be,
That's good. Well, that leads into my third point, which is second shooting. I feel as though you could watch, if you're learning a new skill, you could watch all the all the YouTube videos in the world, but real world practice, real world experience is going to deliver you so much more, so much faster. For example, a very talented photographer up on the Gold Coast, Taylor Jane, when she started out, she actually reached out to me to second shoot alongside myself, and I am a very average wedding photographer, was at the time, still am. And she reached out. She did 2 weddings with us, came down from, I think, up in the Gold Coast somewhere, came down, shot with us, did styled shoots wherever she could, second shot for anyone that she could. Just tried to learn as much from other people as quickly as she could. And now she is absolutely dominating up on the Gold Coast. And I actually now go to her for advice on things. So I would say second shoot, get some real world experience. See how someone who's got it, has time in the game, see how they conduct themselves around brides, grooms, family members, other vendors, and don't take everything they say for gospel, but take what you think will serve you best and then implement that in whichever way you can.
That's so good. I wish I took that advice when I first started. I've never second shot for anyone. And I have. Sorry. I was second shot for my old man maybe like ages ago, but I never actually did it because I'm very introverted. And I was always like, I reckon I was like too arrogant. I was like, I reckon I'd just learn it myself. I'd do this. But you're right. If you go and just learn from these guys, you could learn so quick.
Yeah. You get thrown in the hot seat.
I wish I did it. I wish I still could do it. I still probably will.
You still can. I would love to. I'm going to do it when I work with you.
Well, you're not second shooting, you're main shooter.
No, I'm not, but I'm going to learn a lot from working with you.
Oh, no, you won't. You're going to be like, Jesus, is this how they run their shop over here? Jesus Christ.
Why is he yelling so much?
He's still yelling. It's the ceremony. I can hear you.
Hi.
My one is charge what you're worth, but be extremely honest with yourself. And I know people always say don't compare, but I always compare in terms of like, I know when you first start photography or videography, it's like this curve and it's, oh my God, this is so easy. I'm getting such great shots and this is amazing. I'm worth $1 million. This is incredible. And then you get over the top of this hill and see this big valley in front of you of shit that you don't know. And then you just drop straight to the ground and realize you know nothing. So if you're just starting, be very honest with yourself what you're worth and don't fake it till you make it in terms of going to someone's wedding, charging them $5,000 and giving them a really average product just because you just started, but rather fake it till you make it in terms of just like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but anyway, just be very critically honest with yourself and work your way up until you're very knowledgeable, and then not like you probably get more jobs that way as well.
I think I had a point, but now it's gone.
Do you know what I mean? No, I'm not saying like charge chips. I would just mean just like be honest with yourself at this quality and the skill that you think you are, and then go up from there.
Yeah, I would, if that was the case, I would go and find people at a similar level to you, like you, to kind of like piggyback what you said before about don't take inspiration from like those people who, that you mentioned before, the people next door, but find people who are at the same position as you and see what they're offering, see what they're charging, see what their quality of work is like, because I think it doesn't matter what level you're at. If you think of it from a couple's perspective, couples are always going to compare apples to apples, and we know behind the scenes that just because someone's product looks like this and someone's looks like that and their price the same doesn't mean they get the same experience. But couples are going off face value. So look at yourself back at face value and go, okay, like they're, we're charging like $2,000 for photos for a full day. How many photos are we delivering? How many photos are they delivering? What's their inquiry process like? What's my inquiry process like? What's my website like? What's their website
that's
like?
kind of what I mean.
Compare where you're at compared to where somebody else is at the same spot, and go, okay, like if I was no biased looking for a wedding photographer, would I pick this person or would I pick that person? And then as you start to learn, as you start to develop a brand, as you just start to hone in your style, all these other bits and pieces, that is when you keep sort of comparing yourself. And when I mean compare, I don't mean go, oh my God, they're so much fucking better than me. I suck. I'm not going to do this anymore. But compare what their website looks like, what their copy's like, what their website photos are like, how they deliver their work, all these things, and go, where can I level up to be in this price bracket? How can I get to this point?
That's how I wanted to say it.
Because there's no point like me looking at someone that charges 10 grand and being like, well, I know I'm not worth 10 grand at the moment. Like I'm not confident in my services being at 10 grand, but if I was, what would a $10,000 wedding filmmaker look like? And then start to go over those things, figure out how it works best for you, and then start cooking from there.
Yeah. And the only reason I say this is because I'm just saying things that I did. Like when I first started, I was at that hump and I was like, oh yeah, this person charges, let's just say $5,000 for their top package. Why can't I? So then I was trying to charge like a stupid high price for these things and going, okay, well, I'm worth this, I'm worth that, and worth this. And it wasn't until I said, I will just work for free all the time and do all these free things, lower my prices and take in volume and do all this stuff that I started to actually progress and really move forward quickly rather than just being like, oh, no, this is my price because Joe Blow charges this price.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think as well, you find that if you were to go and do what we said and then go, okay, they charge this and that, I'm going to purposely charge money. I'm going to purposely come on to undercut them. I think you'll find that you're only going to then be undercutting yourself.
Yeah.
So go off it as this is where my value is. This is where I think my value is. And because at the end of the day, like you're competing with everyone. Like as much as we're going to work together and we do the podcast and stuff, like if we were in the same state, we'd be essentially competing. If we're both doing photo, we're competing against each other. But the good thing is there's enough weddings to go around. There's enough couples in every budget range. There's enough couples and all that sort of stuff. So I think that you should go off it as, you should look into it as seeing what other people are doing who you kind of want to strive to get to that level, implement bits and pieces that they have. Keep in mind that you trying to undercut them or you trying to do, dodgies and stuff probably isn't going to get you very far because you're not then selling your value to the couple who wants to book you. You're just trying to get the next booking over the next person because you're cheaper than them. And they say the poor man pays twice. So make sure you do all your shit correctly the first time and you'll find it'll help you better.
It's actually an interesting subject, like how much should I charge? I know when we first did the business map, it was a massive question. Like, how much do I charge? How much do I do this? And I think it always came back to doing market research in your area, finding out what the going rate is at certain levels, because there's so many different price brackets and so many different levels. And then, like you said, like doing that comparison to, okay, well, this person, his work is at this quality. They shoot like 50 something weddings a year. They're at this price bracket. I've shot 2 weddings and a little bit lower. What price bracket am I in? I'm around these people down here. And it would probably help you get to a little bit more competitive prices and stuff.
I feel as though also, I'll have to wrap it up really quickly in a sec, but just go like, how much do you want to make out of it when you're starting out? Do you just want to make 20,000 for the year? How many weddings do you think you want to do? You want to do 10 weddings over the year, or you want to do 8 weddings, or however many it is? Take the amount of money that you want to make, divide that by how many weddings you want to do, and then that'll give you a rough price of what you should be charging or what you need to charge to get to that number, and then go, okay, do I think I'm worth that much money? Do my services like that? Do they add up to that? And if you go yes, well, then you're on the right path to figuring it out, and then go through all those other steps and figure out what you should be charging. But I think that's probably a good guide to go off.
Yeah. And I know you're going to go, I've got one thing that I'll just say.
Go.
Education. Invest in education. Buy a course. Every single time, just get a course. Invest in yourself. Education.
The more you know, the less – so what's the saying? The more you know, the more you find out you don't, or something along those lines.
It's that hill that you get over and you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And learn. This is another one. We're just squeezing them all in. Invest in learning about people, because you're a service-based business, and if you don't know how to deal with people, you don't know how to deal with your clientele. Doesn't matter how good your work is. If you've got the personality of a wet rag, people are going to pick up on it pretty quick.
Oh, that really hit some people.
If you don't know how to work a room, if you don't know how to communicate with people, learn. And I'm not the best at it, but I'm trying my hardest every day to make sure I know how to hold a small talk with anybody.
All right, guys.
Oh.
Well, thank you so much for listening to our, what were we doing?
Hot takes.
No, it wasn't hot takes. It was if I started my wedding photography business. Yeah, if I started my wedding photography business, this is what I would do first.
If you like this stuff, let us know. We could make this a little series throughout the year.
Yeah.
As we learn, we'll teach you too.
Mate, I could ramble off thousands of mistakes that I've made that I wish I didn't do.
Fail, 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 fail.
Yeah.
Fail.